So for Mother's Day, what we did, and I think we talked about this, but for Mother's Day, me and some of my friends sent our wives to a day spa. We sent them away at 9 in the morning. They came back at 4 in the afternoon. So it was really kind of an all-day affair. And for Father's Day, they sort of returned the favor. They said, look, you guys go golf, leave early in the morning, and come back when you come back, basically. So we had an incredible day. We left around probably 8:45 in the morning. We drove up north to Tampa. We stopped at the Hard Rock around 10 o'clock, which 10 o'clock in the morning at a casino, you really get to see some characters that you otherwise wouldn't see. So it was a great time. I lost all my money, not all my money, but the money that I set aside for gambling, all gone within about 45 minutes. My friends, they made money. I did not. So that was a little sad. They were playing a game called Spanish 21. It's similar to blackjack, but I didn't. In my mind, I'm thinking, if you don't know what a game is, if you don't know how to play a game, why would you gamble on it, right? So I went and I played roulette, and I lost everything that I had. But my buddies, they played this game, Spanish 21, and they said it's just like blackjack, except there's no tens. I'm like, okay, so is that it? Pretty much. Okay, well, if I had known that, I probably would have played it. So, unfortunate, lost my money. But then we go up even further north to Brooksville, I think is what it's called, Brooksville. And they have this golf course up there called Cabot Citrus Farms. Have you ever heard of this before?
I have.
There's a lot of influencers have played there. They've been very aggressive in their marketing on social media and whatnot. But you get there and everything that they do is just excellent. They have their own bottled water. And whenever I say bottled water, it's like an aluminum bottled water with electrolytes. Pretty incredible. And there's just, around the course, there's just giant ice coolers. You just grab them out. It's 100 degrees out. It's so nice. You get there, you check in. It's like this little village. It's like a little golf village that they built in the middle of nowhere with these little white cottages. Go to the pro shop, you check in. We decided we wanted to walk because it's a gorgeous course. So why pay the extra? I think the cart fee was like $50. It's like, nah, I've paid enough as it is. I'll walk. So they gave us some push carts that we could walk with. And we had a blast, man. We went to the driving range. The driving range is TrackMan enabled. I don't know if you're familiar with this technology or not.
I am.
But basically, if you watch,
listeners may not be.
Yeah. If you watch golf on TV, professional golf, they have a shot tracer. And I think that's typically by TrackMan. But essentially what it is, you have this small little dish. It looks like a little satellite dish that we used to have for TV. And each bay at the driving range has one of these. And it's got a big screen, a big flat screen. And you go and you press, range, session, whatever, and you hit your ball and you look back and it shows you your initial line, how many feet, it shows the shape of your shot, how many feet to the right or left it varied, launch angle, ball speed, carry distance, and overall distance. All this information is just, it's mind-boggling to me. So we got there 2 hours early because we knew the practice green and everything was super nice. So we wanted to mess around on it. but I just grinded at the range for probably an hour 15. I was honestly, before we started, I was sweating so much before we even started playing. Um, but yeah, it's kind of cool because you can see, I hit this club. It's, if I hit 10 shots with this club, I can have a pretty good feel of, hey, if I flush it, here's what it's going to do. Maybe if I don't hit it as well, it's going to go 10 yards less. So I've got a decent range of what I'm hitting it that day. And then on the range, they've got this little drink cart that's there permanently, and they're selling like margaritas and Moscow mules. Obviously it was like noon. I didn't get anything because we were about to walk 18 holes. That would have been, it would have been a whole different story. I'll say that. But they're playing Chris Stapleton, just classic country music, just blasting it over the range. I'm like, we've got some good vibes going on here. And then you get to the practice green, and the practice green is obviously with it being a nice course, they've got it tight. I think it was rolling like an 11 and a half. So pretty fast. And these greens, what they're known for is these giant undulations in the green. So it's almost like even on their website, it says it like if you hitting the ball in the wrong spot of the green, it can feel like you're playing on a putt-putt course because you'll have to hit it up a 3.5-foot hill straight up. And then it makes a hard right over to the hole. So unfortunately, I spent so much time at the range that I only got to hit about 10 balls on the practice green. And that proved to be my downfall. My driving was great. My iron play was okay. Shaky at times. Chipping was great, but dadgummit, my putting was so bad. So bad. I got a new putter a month or two back, and I feel like on a regular course, I was really rolling it well. Just kind of dialed in my short game, and that was not the case at Cabot Citrus Farms. So, unfortunate. I beat my friends, which is really all that matters. But yeah, we had a blast. I mean, there's so many stories we could tell from that day, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really want to go with you. I think it would be a blast to go with you and walk 18. I think that would you'd probably enjoy that a lot.
I'd love it. I'd love it. So what did you end up shooting?
Okay, don't laugh. I shot a 101. Okay, but I was hitting greens in regulation. It's just the three putts killed me, and the 4 putts killed me. Because the greens it's the way they set up the course. It's good for beginners or novices, and it's also challenging for people that are scratch golfers, right? Because the fairways are forgiving. There's sand on both sides, so you can escape. You can get out pretty easily. And the greens are big, so you can hit the greens in regulation. But once you're on the green, it's an absolute battle to actually get it in the hole. I had one hole where I piped my drive, best drive of the day, left my approach shot a little short, and this green has I don't know if you call it a false front, but it funnels down into like a waist area at the very front of in front of the green, probably 20 yards in front. And so I chip it onto the back fringe, and the whole green is back to front sloping. And I just barely tap it, and the ball races by the hole, whoom, 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 all the way down where I just chipped it from. I was like, dude, you gotta be kidding me. Ended up like double bogeying that hole because I should have parred it, but just stuff like that, man. It's that's what makes it fun, right? Because you can hit fairways, hit greens, feel like you're having some success, but it's also pretty challenging at the same time.
Yeah, and in common golf, you don't normally play greens that are 11 and higher. And
Right.
so I kind of think of it like the greens are its own course. You know, you have your hole, or maybe hole, should I say? You have the hole that gets you to the green, and then you have the hole that you're on the green and you got to get it in. And if you can't get that done in par two for each hole, it's a tough day because it is frustrating because you just keep missing and missing and missing. Um, so that's why I only play greens that have a speed of 5 and 6. No, I'm kidding, but not really. That's just a budgetary restraint in my life. That only courses that have greens that are 5 or 6 are affordable.
Well, that's what I typically play, and I'll say it is quite the difference. It is an
Yes.
adjustment for sure. So you're like, usually you can smack it. Every putt is an uphill putt, but yeah, it's a different animal out there. That's for sure.
Yeah. So did y'all did that on a Saturday, or what did y'all do on Father's Day with your family?
Father's Day was with my actual family was pretty boring. I don't even think we did anything. Not kidding, of course. We went to church. I think we maybe served that Sunday. Went to church and got some lunch after, and then the rest of the day just hung out with Molly and the kids. Just spent some quality time. So
Have you heard of the show McBee Dynasty?
McBee Dynasty,
Yeah.
like
Real
like
American Cowboys.
oh no, I thought it was going to be about like bees, like the Bee movie with
No.
Jerry Seinfeld.
No, this is on Bravo. This is Bravo Television. It's following a farmer and his family in Missouri. I'll try to set the show up. I just started watching it yesterday as I had some free time, and you have this farmer. The show opens up. Hi, my name's Stephen McBee, and I love farming. I own a lot of thousands of acres, 40,000 acres of farm, and I have 4 sons. All right. Well, the show goes on. The fourth son, there's a fourth son, and he is nowhere to be seen. There's 3 sons. I just thought it was hilarious that he showed up at the very beginning, the opening credits scene. I have 4 sons. They all work on the farm. I'm very proud of them. And the fourth son you can't find him in the show. Anyway, I'm going to spoil a little bit. It's reality television, so it's already happened. Um, this guy, he divorced his wife a year and a half ago of 28 years. Actually, I don't know if he divorced his wife. She might have divorced him. Either way, he did say it was his biggest regret in life not being able to keep his family together. And I was like, oh, that's tough. I'm sorry, brother. But then he goes on, and you can kind of see why he can't keep his family together. All right. The guy is dating 2 women at once. One of them lives in Kansas City, which is the city, and one of them lives in Gallatin, which is like a population of 2,700 or something like that. They don't know about each other. So it's a he's in an open relationship, but the other women don't know that he's in an open relationship.
It's honestly, I mean, I feel like if that's your move, if you're going to go with that route, I mean, he's doing it right. I mean, you got to keep them separated, right? That's the slogan for people who have multiple irons in the fire, so to speak. Yeah, I mean, one's over here, small town, doesn't really leave her bubble. One's over here, big city, interacts with so many people, she doesn't know the difference. You know what I mean?
Of course.
It's really, I mean,
And
this it's perfect if you're into that kind
until
of thing.
until what I'm about to say, which is maybe why this show is airing. It kind of tells you the family dynamic. But he so we'll say her name's Galina. She's from Russia. She or she's from the Ukraine. She moved to the U.S. on a fiance visa. Well, she's not married to that man anymore, so she is the one that lives in Gallatin. She actually works for this guy as a chief financial officer, and so they're together. Well, Galena, he also gave her an Escalade, a Cadillac Escalade. It's the farm's, I guess, technically, but she was using it, and it was hers. Well, her car breaks down. Takes it to the shop. A few weeks later, she comes back to the shop because it was like a scratch on the side or something that needed to be fixed. Well, she walks back into the shop. The front bumper is completely torn off. And when I say front bumper, I mean front of the car. It's like unrecognizable that it's a Cadillac. There's no grill or anything. It's probably totaled. She walks in. She's like, "What happened? I had a scratch on my car. Why is this car totaled?" Cut to Steven, the owner of the farm, the father of four. He cuts to a story. It's like, "Well, I told this girl, this girl, that the Kansas City girl, she called me. Her car broke down. She needed help. She's a single mother of two. And I knew Galena's car, who was my small town girlfriend, was in the shop. So I said, oh, why don't you go to the shop and go get this car? Go get this Cadillac Escalade from the shop." And he's talking to the city girl now, not the owner of the car, not the cars whose this is. Well, the city girl goes, gets the car. Steven gets another call at 2 a.m. "Hey, Steve, I wrecked the car. I'm so sorry." Oh, and I'm just like, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. So now that's where I left off in my watchings, is that they're going to have that conversation that, "Galena, I gave your car to my side piece who you don't know about. But I'm in an open relationship with her, and I also gave her your car and she totaled it.
And you're also my side piece."
And you're also the chief financial officer of my company.
Sounds pretty great, dude. I had no clue the show even existed. I was expecting it to be like a Yellowstone type, I don't know, drama. But if it's reality, no. I mean, that sounds pretty good. How many episodes in are you?
I'm 3 episodes in.
Well, that's a lot that happens in 3 episodes.
There's some juice.
Right?
There's some juice for sure. Their kids also, their kids, it's very sad. They can't hold a relationship. Probably because of the example they have.
Right.
But it's so sad because these girls, he only has 4 boys. Again, the 4th boy, I don't know who it is because it only tracks 3. But they all have girlfriends and they're all unmarried. And they're all on and off again ones, except one guy who's been dating this girl for 11 years and has no reason not to get married to her, other than he's scared of messing it up when he's married. Like, once again, push to the example he has. You just gotta be thankful for what you have. It made me thankful for what I had growing up, and not taking it for granted, but that's a tough look, man.
That is for sure. That's really difficult. I don't know how a woman stays with a guy for that long without some sort of, hey, this is my plan. You know what I mean? Because the question gets asked and he says, "I'm afraid to mess it up." Then as like his girlfriend, I would think would be like, "See ya." But maybe not. I mean, maybe the ranch is just pulling in that kind of cash where he can afford to.
Oh, that's the other thing. The ranch is $65 million under right now.
Oh, what's this man doing buying Cadillacs?
I don't get it. I think he's not a great businessman, if I'm being honest. Other than this company in New York. This company in New York, they bought his ranch, or they're doing a deal with the ranch, $105 million takeover. So now they are no longer the owners. of the ranch, this company is. And it's hilarious because he was sitting with his kids just a few episodes later, and he said, look, man, if you want to make your dreams, don't be working to make the dreams of someone else. Work for yourself and make your own dreams. As he just sold his entire company and all his property.
It's like Yellowstone. Like if Yellowstone was only one episode long, we've had this farm for 150 years, and we're never going to let it go, even though we're in a ton of debt. We can't afford it. We just barely scrape by every year. And he's like, all right. Into the first episode, you're like, okay, I guess we'll sell it. He gets approached with one offer. All right, you got a deal.
So the reason I found that show was because the Southern Charm did a watch party of it. I didn't watch the watch party, but I saw that Southern Charm Big B Dynasty watch party, so I figured, might as well check it out. And it was good. It was.
And it was, so the watch party, is that you're watching the Southern Charm stars watch the
it's like
farmer
commentary
show? Okay. Yeah. I bet that's good. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I'm not into watching the watchers. I want to be a first-hand watcher.
Right.
But I bet the dialogue would be decent.
For sure. So you haven't seen the commentary, the Southern Charm commentary?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, I'll have to check that out. That seems like it's really... We just finished the first half of the Mormon Wives show, so it's I think they're taking a break. It's like 10 episodes for the first half and 10 episodes for the second half, but I think there's a couple months in between the two halves. So we got to watch something in the meantime, so we'll probably see if we can't pick that up.
That's good. So I just want to... I'm trying to get us sponsored by some electrolyte company. So I reached out to Element, right?
Element-T.
Element-T, sorry. And they're only doing sponsorships with, how would you say, people who have recommendations. So we'd have to get in with another person who's sponsored by Element-T, and then they would have to recommend us to Element-T. Well, I talked to the guy over there, Element. I'm going to call it Element, not Element-T, sorry.
That's what I call it. I'm just being goofy.
I talked to the guy over there, and they said, we're sorry we can't do that, but I'll send you a salty box. And this is unpaid promotion, of course, but I just want to tell the listeners that they sent me a free 12-pack of Element, just for reaching out about sponsorships. So we're gonna try to secure some partnerships. I think electrolytes help a lot, but we have a couple companies down the pipeline that we're trying to talk to. And companies, if you're listening to this, I hope you don't feel slighted, I guess. We haven't really agreed to anything with anybody, but we are looking. And I think the electrolyte push is something that people would find valuable, but I'm curious your thoughts, Brett, what you would think.
Look, first off, I think it's cool that they sent you a free 12-pack. That's pretty lucky. I'm wondering where my 6-packs are as part of the 12-pack. Fair enough. I do think hydration and electrolytes are huge. They're obviously very important for the body. So if we could get someone on like that, Liquid IV, I think they just came out with a less sugar. You look like you're drinking some electrolytes right there. That milky water.
I'm drinking water with lemon juice in it.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not.
It's not like a little bit of milk from last night left in the bottom of the cup. You just put some water in there.
No. I actually steam my glasses before I drink.
There you go. But yeah, I think Liquid IV's come out with a less sugar, which is huge because I think their other ones had like something crazy like 25 grams of sugar, if that's even possible.
Yeah, that's all Liquid IV was bombing yourself with sugar.
Right, right. But I think they realized that people were buying Element and other, no sugar, low sugar alternatives. And they're probably saying, dang, I mean, if people want to be healthy, drinking hydration multipliers, they probably don't want all this sugar. I mean, it's delicious, don't get me wrong, but probably not what your body actually needs. So, but I feel like we've had some good shots at sponsors over the years, and we just haven't been able to land the fish, if you know what I'm saying. Like Shamrock chocolate milk.
Oh,
We were right there,
that was
man.
good.
We were right
That
there.
was good.
Orca water, Orca energy water. They've actually put out they released their product several months ago for the first time. They did their launch. Obviously, we got in kind of at the ground floor, if you will, did a podcast episode with them. But whenever they hit it big, I'm going to be looking for that sponsorship deal. And we asked them at the time, and they said, we're not really, we haven't really put anything out for sale yet. So kind of hard to sponsor people. But yeah, those two, and then Conecuh Sausage, we were also kind of similar to Shamrock, right there on the edge with them, and just couldn't do the deal. So that's one of my bigger regrets from the past year is not being able to land that proverbial fish. But yeah, I think, charging forward, I think we could look at some different electrolyte drinks and things like that, and see if we can kind of break into that market a little bit.
And you know who has been one of our most faithful sponsors of all, and who this episode is brought to you by?
Of course.
Williams Green Feed and Seed, brought to you by Kingsland, Georgia. If you're ever in the need of a grass cleaning, a grass seeding, or a grass feeding, you talk to Williams Green and Clean in Kingsland, St. Mary's, Georgia. They'll get you right. They'll get you clean. And so we just want to thank you to that company for sponsoring our endeavors. And frankly, one of the owners of that company, Andrew, he reached out to us and he shared with us that he purchased an Orca beverage water. And he had good reviews on most of them. I think the other ones were just based on taste, personal preference, but I think they got the job done. So we are what you would call pioneers. I think that's what they call them. Mm-hmm. Forging our way through the land of the unknown. Is that what a pioneer does?
Yeah, for sure. Like dang John C. Fremont. You know what I'm saying?
JCF.
That's right, JCF. Just blaze our path all the way out to California. So, yeah, and I think Williams, Green Seed and Feed and Clean, I think they're looking at possibly expanding. It's a one-man operation right now, as far as I know, but I think he's looking at expanding his reach from St. Mary's all the way up to Atlanta, Athens area. So pretty exciting stuff. He's got a lot obviously on his plate if he's going to be doing that by himself, but I know his family enjoys the extra cash that he's bringing in. May even fit in a few duck hunts along the way, but just write it off as a business expense. That's my take. That's my take, at least.
Set off the taxes, call it a day.
That's right.
Well, you kind of went into a business endeavor yourself. Is it too early to share that? Should we just tease the listeners, or what do you think?
I'll give a little tease. I won't go all the way, but I'll give a little tease. There's a bit of a business that's being formed in the shadows right now. It's
the break off of Quite Frankly podcast.
It is.
It's under the umbrella.
They're closely associated and definitely under the umbrella. But let's just say this. any of your clothing needs from here on out can be satisfied with this business. So we know it's clothing adjacent. It's in that realm. I don't want to give too much away, but be looking on the socials because it's going to get crazy. You're going to get hit hard and fast with marketing on social media. And it's going to be great. You know, I mean, I think pretty soon here we're probably going to be swimming in a lot of cash. So I'm thinking trip to Cabot, get a cottage for the weekend, call it a business expense. That's our annual meeting. We do that at Cabot for the business.
Of course.
And you are going to be the CFF. Is that right?
CFO.
CFF.
I don't know what the last F stands for, but I'm in.
Great. Chief financial friend.
Huge.
Is what you will be. But no, we've got a little something cooking. I'll divulge a little bit more later, but it's exciting times. My wife is involved heavily. Some might say she is the backbone. She's the nervous system. She's everything to me. So I'm just kind of sitting back, giving a little bit of advice when I can, but she is heading all operations, which is a little, it's fun, but it's a little scary, you know? So we'll see. It'll be good.
Yeah. And more info, you're going to get more info, listeners, but it was kind of how would you say? The listener, she was listening to the podcast. I believe this is a story. Correct me if I'm wrong, but she was listening to the podcast, this podcast, to be frank, and she's like, what would be better than starting another business under this umbrella to generate some more revenue for the business? I mean, we're doing fine as a podcast, but I do think she wanted to be a part, and maybe she felt like she didn't have the time to be on the podcast. And so maybe this was her way of wanting to be a part, but also finding another avenue. Is that true at all, or did I just dream that up? I can't remember.
No, it's not a dream. It's all the truth and only the truth. I think they say in court, the whole truth. That is, yeah. She still wants to come on the podcast. I'll say that. So we're gonna have to do something. Sometime, I don't know. We'll record it like midnight when the kids aren't, being crazy or something. But she wants to be on the podcast, and I think she's kind of funneled that angst and that want and said, you know what, if I can't go on the podcast, then I'll just start my own business and I'll just kind of slide under the umbrella of Flobo Holdings. So yeah, it's exciting stuff. And I think it's going to be pretty successful. So
praise God. Well, as we wrap up, what is maybe something you want our listeners to know this week here? Anything important, anything special, maybe something that stuck out to you in the past week, maybe something on your mind in the future? What are you thinking?
I'll say this. A few weeks back, we went to Melbourne with our friends. You were there with that. Just had an absolute blast. Went down to the beach for a couple days with the kids. Just the best time that anyone could ever have, essentially. And looking forward, this week I'm taking off on Friday. We're going to come up and see you on Friday night. No, maybe Thursday night. Maybe play a little bit of golf. Might shoot a little video then. And then we're going up to the Panhandle to see family for the 4th of July, but also to go to the beach again. So Stetson and Callan are going to be all beached out by the end of that week. But I'm looking forward to it, man. It's always such a good time to go up there, see family, and hang out, play around, swim in the pool, do all that fun stuff. So yeah, it's going to be good. And I'm praying that we will be able to capture some of that content.
Yeah. We really need to hire a videographer, to be frank, just to follow us around. Because if they did that last year, I don't know if listeners, you may be joining us on this journey late and not familiar with the activities of the 24th year of 2000's July 4th, Independence Day. A special someone in our lives purchased Chinese fireworks. And when I say Chinese fireworks, I mean fireworks from China. And if you know anything about fireworks from China, they have strange names and they're not reliable. And so, not us, not quite frankly podcast members, but someone that was around. We are not complicit in this activity, but we did witness this activity, is that the Chinese fireworks blew up on the beach and they lit some things on fire, and many people were quick to the rescue. And we were one of those. The people who committed the crime, the people who committed the crime, they were quick to run, but we were upstanding citizens, and we did not want the wildfire to spread. We wanted to keep it not a wildfire. And so, if we had video of that, it would have been absolutely hysterical. But we do not, so you'll just have to take our word for it. But that won't be happening this year again. We will be checking where the fireworks were purchased, and we will actually be like firework bouncers. We will not let fireworks purchased with weird names from China be purchased. Speaking of fireworks in China, did you see that there was a 5.2 magnitude earthquake in Iran yesterday?
In Iran?
Iran, yes.
I had no clue. It's kind of crazy timing considering, Israel and ours involvement there over the past few weeks. Do you think the government can manufacture earthquakes, or what are we thinking?
Here's what I think. Number one, we're closer than ever to the end of the world, the return of Jesus Christ. That's what I think.
Every day, right?
I know that's fact. Yes, that was my point. So we got to get right with the Lord. We don't know. 3 seconds he could return. All right, he either returned or we are not Christians. So
left behind, bro.
The vlogs would go crazy. I think there is some distaste over the past few weeks between all parties, Israel, Iran, the United States of America, throw Canada in there, China. We're all in the wrong to some extent. No one's perfect. The answers, I honestly don't think the answers are found on this side of the earth. I would prefer us not to get into a war. Do I think the earthquake was real? Certainly. Do I think God knew about the earthquake? Maybe allowed it to happen? I do. He's omniscient. Do I think the earthquake is an effect of sin in the world, and that it shows the earth has faults, and that's a reflection of humans being broken and far apart from Jesus? I do. I think that's a fair illustration to draw. But I do think it is a reminder that this is not our home. Even if we're in the United States of America and Iran is experiencing the earthquake, it's a reminder. This earth is not our home. So why do we invest so much stock into it from a non-eternal perspective? I hadn't really processed the earthquake, if I'm being honest. I'm doing that right now. So those are my thoughts.
Did you just get the notification?
No, I read a headline yesterday evening, but the headline was posted 7 hours ago, which earmarks it to around 12 o'clock noon Eastern time in the United States of America.
12 o'clock noon or 12 o'clock midnight?
12 o'clock noon Eastern in the United States of America would be 7 hours from the time I read it, which The post was earmarked 7 hours ago,
Gotcha.
and I read that
Gotcha.
at 7 a.m.
Yeah, man, our
7
world,
p.m. Sorry.
it has faults. And whenever you have faults, you get things like earthquakes and volcanoes. You know, those tectonic plates are rubbing against each other at those faults. And whenever they finally break a little bit, you get an earthquake. So the world definitely, you're very correct. The world does have faults. Uh, yeah, it's just a little, I don't know, man. I'm going to have to go do a deep dive on this. It's just a little curious that we're going in at a time like this and we're saying, look, we don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons, or perhaps helping Israel strike them in certain places. And then all of a sudden an earthquake hits and a lot of their uranium enrichment is underground in these areas. It makes you
There
think.
were
It makes you
plenty of
think.
people said that would be a bunker buster, as they call them.
I mean, most would consider it that. It just wouldn't be dropped from above. It would be, I don't even know how you would manufacture that. I mean, like controlling the weather. Obviously, we talked about that a lot last year. That was kind of it's a little passe at this point, but I feel like if they have a way to manufacture earthquakes, that's pretty cool and terrifying. So, but we'll see. I'll do some research, see if I can't get some additional info from my sources on it.
Good. That'll be healthy for the listeners of this podcast. And frankly, I look forward to when we do this next. Listeners, you've been faithful through it all, and we praise you and praise God for that He's created you to be who you are. And that's why we do this. It's because we love you deeply and generously, and we're going to see you in 7 days or longer than 7 days, frankly.